You're in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. The Bengals are headed to Kansas City again as they defeat the Buffalo Bills 27-10. Dave Lapham was on the call on the First Star Logistics Bengals radio network. Dave, what a game by this team.
Unbelievable performance. It really was. No turnovers. The Bengals had no 3-and-outs. Buffalo had multiple 3-and-outs. The shortest drive the Bengals had was 6 plays. They only had 2 penalties the entire game. They were both false starts. Crowd noise was a little bit of an issue on a couple of snaps. 6 for 10 on third down. They ran 69 snaps. Only 2 went for a lost yardage. 6 plays of 10 or more yards. It's just an unbelievable performance. It was a complimentary, complete football game. Joe Mixon rushed for 105. As a team, the Bengals rushed for 172, averaged over 5 yards a carry, as did Joe Mixon. The offensive line, the revamped, reworked offensive line with 3 new starters, dominated the line of scrimmage. The bottom line in this game, Dave, we do an In the Trenches podcast all the time. It was won in the trenches. I mean, the Bengals' offensive and defensive line won the battle on both sides of the football. Point blank, period, end of sentence.
Bengals offense, 5 of 7 possessions they score in the 27-10 win. First time in franchise history, back-to-back AFC Championship games. So many guys, as you said, Dave, Jackson Carman, you go through the offensive line. Frank Pollock, we spoke to him on Tuesday on In the Trenches. He was ready to go Tuesday, and now we see why.
Oh, no doubt. He had total confidence in what guys were doing up front. He believed. He put together a hell of a game plan. They just executed to perfection. Joe Burrow completed his first 9 passes. His first 14 passes went to 8 different receivers. You talk about distributing the football to different people. He was very patient with the check down. I mean, it reminds me so much of the West Coast offense, what the Bengals are doing now, throwing the football. And I'm telling you, it's being executed at such a high level. Guys are making plays, left and right. Everybody's stepping up. There were so many contributions during the course of this football game. A bunch of big plays, a bunch of plays that people are going to forget about. That if a guy didn't make a tackle or a guy didn't get off a block or whatever the case may be, it would have had a different outcome. But the Bengals dominated this football game from start to finish. There's no question about it. I can't believe in this weather they played as clean a football game as they played. 2 penalties. No turnovers. It really is an incredible performance. I mean, the focus and concentration that it takes to do something like that is really extraordinary.
Yeah, defensively, Mike Hilton, B.J. Hill. You can talk about Cam Taylor-Britt ending it with the interception there. Dax, I mean, you go through, there's so many different guys you could sit there. Eli Apple bats down a ball. Lou Anarumo, one of our favorite guys on In the Trenches, just keeps dialing up great game plans.
He does, and you know who was at the feet of Josh Allen when Eli Apple knocked that ball down? Sam Hubbard put on pressure. Josh Allen was not able to go through his mechanics. He had to throw falling away from the line of scrimmage, and the ball floated and fluttered, and Eli Apple was able to close on it and knock it to the ground. But Sam Hubbard's not there with the pass rush. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody made plays, but there were so many other guys that stepped up and contributed to the outcome of the play. If Sam doesn't have that kind of a pass rush and Josh Allen's able to step normally from his back foot to his front foot and transfer his weight and throw a dart, it's a different outcome. So, I mean, over and over and over again, guys are where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there, working as a team. And they were a complete complementary football team today in every single phase by a bunch of different people.
You give Joe Burrow anything to put on his shoulder, he will. After the game, CBS had Joe on. He told the NFL he better send those refunds out. And then Zach Taylor in his postgame. We just keep screwing it up for everybody. You got to love it.
Yeah, I think they shouldn't put refunds. I think they should just change the ticket to Cincinnati. I think it should be Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Atlanta. It was going to be in Buffalo and Atlanta. Why the hell can't it be Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Atlanta? I mean, they were going to do that for Buffalo. Why can't they do it for Cincinnati? So, I mean, it's just that's the kind of thing that gives these guys even added motivation, though. It gives them a chip on their shoulder, us against the world mentality. And, they just, their mantra is they got to play us. That's what it boils down to. They got to play us. For this football team to come on the road against a high-powered offense like this one and hold them to 10 points and then score on 5 or 7 drives, and that's the thing, only 7 drives. I mean, once you get to the end of the third, beginning of the fourth quarter, you knew there weren't going to be enough possessions left to make a comeback, and Josh Allen knew that, and everybody knew that. So it puts a lot of additional pressure on players, and then sometimes you can force things, try to do things you shouldn't be doing, and I mean, it was a hell of a game plan, and it was executed to perfection. I mean, everybody needs to take a bow on this one from top to bottom. Everybody involved with the outcome.
In the Trenches is brought to you by First Star Logistics. Hey, if you're a broker out there looking for a different opportunity, be sure to check out Logistics and Loggers, when the First Star Logistics team will take you to a Cincinnati Cyclones game on February 22nd. Go to any place in their social media to learn more about that event. Dave, 30 first downs by this offense. My goodness.
Yeah, that's a record. Bengals have never had a 31st down playoff game. I can tell you that right now. And it was balanced. 13 first downs rushing, 14 first downs passing, and then 3 by penalty. I mean, just 412 yards offense on 71 snaps in that weather. Rush for over 170 yards, throw for 240. I mean, it's incredible. Again, complimentary, complete football game in every sense of the word. It should go to the Hall of Fame when people are wondering, okay, what is a complete football game? What is a complimentary football game? They should throw tape on so people can see the execution of this game, and this is the definition of that exact thing.
Dave, going back to Kansas, yesterday everyone had a chance to watch that Kansas City game. They saw what happened to Mahomes. High ankle sprain is what the report is. But, I mean, this is going to be another big battle for the Bengals when they go to Kansas City next weekend.
Yeah, it is. But, doctors are saying that Patrick Mahomes is going to be struggling more next week than he was in this football game because you still have that adrenaline rush. I mean, he's going to be hurting more. He's probably hurting more today than he was yesterday. And it's going to be tough for him. I'm not saying he's not going to play. But I'm saying his mechanics might be altered a little bit. It might be a little bit of a hindered Patrick Mahomes. But, Chad Henne obviously showed that he can move the football team. The 98-yard touchdown that he went on basically won the football game for the Kansas City Chiefs. So going to Kansas City and playing a team of this caliber, not an easy task, but the Bengals have beaten them 3 straight times. Might as well make it 4.
Dave, you've seen all 3 squads that made it to Super Bowls in Bengals franchise history. Joe Burrow feels this is the better team than what it was a year ago.
Oh, it definitely is. Biggest reason is Joe Burrow's got another year experience. After everything that he went through last year, he's put it in the bank and making withdrawals on it. And now he's making more deposits into the bank. Another postseason. I mean, he's got another year under his belt. Jamar Chase has another year under his belt. All these guys playing together and working together, another year under their belt. They're young. It's a young football team. There's room for growth, and they are better. And I think they're going to continue to get better.
All right, Dave. We always talk about this is in the trenches. We gotta give more love to the guys that came in and replaced those main starters for 15 games all season. The Jackson Carmens, the Sharpings, the Adenijis. You got to give them the props.
Oh yeah, I mean there's no question. People doubted them, and you know what? It's at that point you look at each other and you say, okay, it's on us. We know it's on us. The whole world's going to be watching. The whole world knows it's on us. What do? They played 5 as 1. They rushed for over 170 yards. They offense put together over 400 yards offense and 27 points. They lived vicariously through the success of their skilled people because they were doing their job up front. Hell of a performance. Joe Burrow is now 23-3 when he's sacked 3 times or less. 23-3. When he's sacked 4 times or more, he's 4-8. Protect Joe Burrow, good things happen. Easier to protect Joe Burrow when you rush for over 170 yards. Offensive line, take a bow. Kudos, each and every one of you. Talked to all 5 of them in the postgame show, and they were obviously thrilled, and rightfully so.
What was it like for you and Dan Horde when you hear the Who Dey chants all through the stadium there in Buffalo? Bengals Nation showed up.
Yeah, they showed up. There was orange and black everywhere. There was orange and black all over the city, and it's no surprise anymore. It's just it's a common practice. It would be almost a shock if we didn't see it now. And it's amazing when you're on the road in an environment like Buffalo, and defensive players are jumping up in the stands and high-fiving Bengal fans right at the front row of the stands. It's incredible.
Dave, we know you need to get on that bus and get that plane to get back to Cincinnati. It's going to be a fun week in the trenches this week, so make sure everybody be with us on In the Trenches on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast from, brought to you by First Star Logistics, because I'm sure Dave will have lined up some great guests throughout the week.
Working on it, Dave. Working on it. We'll see how we can roll. It's going to be fun.
All right, everybody. Until next time, be sure to check out In the Trenches, brought to you by First Star Logistics with Dave Lapham. And Dave, safe travels home.
Thanks, Dave.
At First Star Logistics, we're a very strict company that really puts the pressure on our employees. Brakes? What are those?
That's what I'm talking about, Icky. Get the body right, then the mind's right. You know,
gotta get that body right.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Become a star with a chance to earn the highest commission percentages in the industry as a freight broker agent. Check out FirstStarLogistics.com.